This is an announcement that is directed to those people who will be coming up on the stage to receive their diplomas and certificates. So this is something for you, especially. The idea is to have an orderly movement on stage. The presenters will be at the center. There will be probably more than 2 people standing here who will be handing over the diplomas and the certificates. So the idea is that everyone ascends from that stair that you find at the further end. You move to the center, pause there. Remember that also equally The arrival of our chief guest, keynote speaker, and other dignitaries, we will now proceed with the customary practice of the invitation to light the ceremonial oil lamp. So, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe will be joined by Professor Lakshman R. Watawala, the President, Vice President, Mr. H.M. Hennayaka Bandara, Mr. Ruchira Pereira, Council Member, and other Council Members such as Mr. Manil Jayasinghe and Mr. P. Gajendran.
And Mr. J.M.U.B. Jayasekara, Mr. J.P.R. Karunaratne, and Professor Harendra Karyavasam, a former council member in the company of Mr. Sunil Piris, CHFMA Course Director, Kanchana Gunasekara, Director of Education and Training, and Ms. Madhumi Pereira, Director of Examinations, as well as representing the student body MTM ASIC.
We had mentioned that again. So there is still the formality of our inaugural process, and that includes the national anthem of Sri Lanka, immediately followed thereafter by the theme song, or should we say the CMA song. So that follows now.
Sri Lanka, Namo, 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 Mata. Sundara Sri Hari දැනුමින් පිරිපුන්ව ලොව දිනමින් ජය කනුව කරා පිය නගන සදා කලමනා කරන ගණකාධිකාරි විශ්ව නිකේතනයයි
CMA ශ්‍රී ලංකාவில் முதலிடம் பெறுதே அதிதொழில்நுட்பங்கள் கிடைக்கும் வென்றீர்கள் உலகத்தை வெற்றி பாதையில் தினமும் செல்வோம் முகமையாளர்களும் கணக்காளர்களும் உருவாகும் மத்தியஸ்தலம்
CMA, the best in Sri Lanka, adopting international standards with technological advancement, management, accounting profession globally. Recognized is full of excellence on the path to victory. තිරසර වටිනාකම් දීපනය කරමින් තිරසර වටිනාකම් දීපනය කරමින් ශක්තියෙන් ගුණෙන් අගනා ප්‍රගතිමලයෙහි කරනා විශ්වයට ඔබින පුරවැසියන් බිහි කරනා කලමනා කරන ගණකාධිකාරි විශ්ව නිකේතනයයි කලමනා කරන ගණකාධිකාරි විශ්ව නිකේතනයයි CMA
We'd like to invite everyone to be comfortably seated, and we'd like to invite everyone to be comfortably seated, and if you do have mobile devices that might intrude on the comfort of others, I reckon it would be an appropriate time to have them switched off or rendered silent. So here we are with another graduation ceremony for the year 2022. How good it is to be able to see you gathered here for that event. Just before we move on, Dinasha, would you have heard it said by those older than we, wiser than we, that Sri Lanka, or Ceylon then, was poised to soar into the realm of the prosperous nations that perhaps had languished for a while, maybe some centuries under colonial dominance, and that this country had the capacity to leap forward, thrive, and drive its way forward, in fact, sometimes ahead of other Asian nations. Have you heard that?
Yes, Arun. I've heard that Ceylon was considered somewhat of a benchmark. The land has had the virtues of self-rule. It's had bountiful resources, both in people and in nature. It's been well positioned geographically, famously, and it's also had irrigation, which is really important to be able to support sufficiency in food and agriculture. That's a lot.
Have you also then heard that by the year 1953, industrial turmoil entered the scene and the direction was submerged, maybe even lost a bit. And so it is to the present, when the same is manifest but at levels unprecedented, and it seems to be that the corrosive impact has been like what we have not seen before. So would you say that the capacity for the management of Sri Lanka is missing?
I really have to disagree that the land had no qualified people. Rather, there were professionals with qualifications aplenty, and there still are. In fact, at that time, academia in Ceylon was on par with the best in the world and sometimes considered a bit ahead. what seems to have happened is that the best qualified have chosen to seek their fortunes elsewhere and sometimes have found it, apparently, having performed commendably in one country after another.
Ah, well, it seems that you have touched on something rather important. So, professionals with qualifications were abundant. However, the application of their knowledge or the implementation of ideas that were forthcoming from these experts, their expertise, well, that's another matter. Now, it seems like ideology was superimposed over what was practical and expedient and beneficial, and sometimes the initiative amongst those with ability seems to have dissipated, thwarted.
I guess management is about management in the practical sense, not just about qualifications. Professional training is also about commitment. Commitment perhaps to the place where one belongs. Going beyond the accumulation of diplomas and certificates, great as those are, to fulfilling the needs of the community.
I suppose if you were listening to the lyric of that song a little while ago, you might appreciate that those needs are what are foremost in the curricula formulated in the courses of study that are provided by CMA Sri Lanka.
Well, we do know that CMA has an intense focus on going beyond theory to the practical, looking at the working reality and serving the people and the organizations within the country, ushering in change and best practices in managing, and endeavoring to foster that economic prosperity that people really deserve and expect from real managers. So it would be good to hear now from one such real manager, the Vice President of CMA Sri Lanka, Mr. H.M. Hennayaka Bandara.
Good afternoon to all of you. Our chief guest this evening and keynote speaker, Mr. Supong Weerasinghe, Group Chief Executive Officer, Dialogue Asiata PLC. Our President, Professor Laxmanara Vatawala, members of the Council, distinguished invitees, parents, members, prize winners, certificate recipients, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure I congratulate and extend my warm wishes to our new associate members as well as those associates who have been advanced to fellowship status of the Institute. At the same time, I congratulate those who successfully completed the various stages of CMA professional program, and I am sure that you will continue your education and obtain the relevant practical training to become members of the Institute. Accounting is an excellent platform to launch a career because of the many opportunities that are available to professional accountants. It allows you to work in a diverse range of organization ranging from industry and commerce to professional services. When you are a management accountant, you should be able to address any issue within the scope of your education. You should be thorough with the entire spectrum of knowledge and skills expected of the curriculum. At the same time, you need to continue your professional development and keep yourself updated with new developments. More importantly, the image you project will protect your institute, that is CMA Sri Lanka. With those remarks, on behalf of CMA Sri Lanka, I would like to welcome and thank Mr. Supong Weerasinghe, Group CEO of Dialogue Asiata PLC for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest and keynote speaker at this annual convocation. Your presence is a source of encouragement to CMA as well as to all of us. Let me also welcome our founder president, Professor Lakshamana Vatavala, members of the council, distinguished invitees, parents, certificate recipients, director and staff of examination division of CMA as well as all other staff members of CMA. Your participation, encouragement and support extended to us helped to organize this annual event successfully. I wish new members and certificate recipients all success in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you too, Mr. Hennaka Bandara, for your encouragement. And now, as is customary, we shall be very happy to hear from the founder president of CMA Sri Lanka, Professor Lakshman R. Vatavala, who will elucidate things that are of urgent concern and related to you.
Our chief guest, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe, the CEO and Director of Dialogue Axiata PLC, the Vice President of CMA, Mr. Hennaka Bandara, the members of the Council of CMA, the recipients of fellowship and associate membership, the other certificate holders, the director examinations and other staff members of CMA Sri Lanka, and ladies and gentlemen. I think it is a very grand occasion for all of you who are here, because this is an occasion where you are going to celebrate and also be rewarded for what you have been doing or what you have been studying and getting through the different exams that you have set for. It is not a normal exam, because this is a professional qualification, a professional management accounting qualification. In addition to that, you must be proud that this is a Sri Lankan qualification. Today, very many don't want to say that they have a Sri Lankan qualification. In fact, when I passed out, or maybe when I passed my A-level, I did not go to seek foreign universities or foreign professional qualifications, because the Sri Lankan universities, the Sri Lankan professional bodies were very much recognized in the global field. That is something that you should remember, because CMA Sri Lanka is a body that was set up in 1999. You may want to find out why it was set up. At that time, there was no management accounting body in Sri Lanka, which meant that we had no Sri Lankan management accountants who could serve the country. So that's something that we had to do, and I'm very happy to tell you that when we set it up with the collaboration of CMA Canada, which is today CPA Canada, 10 years later the government realized that this is a profession that is required not only for the development of the government sector, but also the private sector. So therefore, this was incorporated by an Act of Parliament. Do not think that this was an easy journey. We had to work very hard for 3 to 4 years. I know some countries that have taken more than 10 years. But we were able to do it. Because that is what we need today, you know. As professionals, we are people who can achieve things and make a change in the society. That is what we have done. To give a qualification at an affordable price. At that time we said to save foreign exchange for the country. But today that story has come true. Look at the far-sighted of our founders at that time. So definitely, there is no easy way. We need to work very hard. In fact, I took a challenge. I gave up my university degree and I started on doing the chartered accountancy qualification. I did it because a lot of my friends who were with me had left school very much earlier and they had by that time become chartered accountants. But many told me, you are going on a very difficult path. Only 3-4 people are passing out. So, if you do a degree, 99% will pass out. But if you do the chartered accountancy, only 3 or 4 will pass out. But this was a journey that we traveled. Because we knew that this was a path that was respected, recognized, not only in Sri Lanka, but also overseas. At the time that I qualified, I think there were 9 or 10 who qualified. 9 of them went overseas, and I may be the only fool who stayed behind. But that fool has been able to do so many changes, to serve this country, be the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka, set up the Association of Accounting Technicians of Sri Lanka, and of course set up the Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka. So maybe professionally I would have been able to gain, but maybe financially I would have lost. But many say that when you are born with nothing. When you die, you go with nothing. So at least there may be some people like you who are here to say that there are some who have able to make a career for you, a future for you. So that's the most important thing, because you see, today we have to look at the future of our professional accountants. The future of the professional accountants, because we are in a very turbulent times. The current situation in Sri Lanka, the current situation globally are not very conducive to the economic development. That means we can't have the same lifestyle that we had earlier. We need to do adjustments. We need to do changes. And I do not think the majority of the people of this country realize that. They want to enjoy the same benefits they had. They want to have the luxury of traveling in cars, using the much required foreign exchange and burning the petrol. But I think we need to do this. But this does not come from the basement, it has to come from the top. If the people at the top can make this change, definitely the others will follow suit. So today we need to give that message. As professionals, we need to tell that we need to cut our coat according to our size that we have. We cannot go to overspend. We cannot have the luxuries that we had earlier. We need to see as to how we can come out of this situation. In this role, I think the professional management accountants are the best who can serve this. Public financial management is very essential for this country. It's very weak. Today the government has no option available. I don't think they will have money to recruit accountants. But they can have a public-private partnership where we from the private sector will help the government to overcome these difficulties that they are having. That is what they can do, because 1.6 million public servants, what do you think they are doing? Today in accounting terms, we have what is called value creation. In fact, we have what is called the CMA Excellence in Integrated Reporting, where we judge the public sector companies, public quoted companies, as to the value they are creating, not only to themselves, but to the society. That is the most important thing. So as professional management accountants, we need to see what is the service that you can give to your organization, what is the service that you can do to your society. As far as the private sector is concerned, they are implementing all these very good schemes. If you are a public quoted company, you have a regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, who will be behind you. Every share transaction, they will have an audit committee, they will have a governance committee, they will have an ethics committee, they will have so many committees in order to control you. But unfortunately, these controls are not there for some of the largest public sector organizations in this country. It is a pity that they do not realize this. Politicians cannot run organizations, but professionals can do it. Politicians can get the support of the professionals if they want to run the country. If they want to run the economy, if they want to put this country on a better footing, they have to invite us, and we should be prepared to help them. Definitely. With the experience, with the exposure we have got, that is definitely possible. Not only in the private sector, but in the public sector, turning loss-making state corporations to profit-making corporations, enabling the country to set up factories throughout the country, which is today earning the most valuable foreign exchange to this country. In this year 1991, we started that. At that time, I was the chairman of the Board of Investment, because I am telling this as a proud accountant that I was able to achieve it. When we were given the task to set up 200 garment factories throughout the country, I called all the big shots in the garment industry. They said, you will not get more than 6 or 7 factories. But we were not prepared to accept it. We had leaders who could make things work. You see, when you set up a factory for export, how are you going to sell your products? You as management accountants, I am sure you've done your case study, you might have been asked these questions. Here he got the idea. At that time, the leader went to visit a factory. So he asked this factory owner, what are you doing with these things? You say you're going to export, how are you going to export this? He told the president, you know, sir, this country has got a gift from the USA. We have what is called the quota. This quota is today enjoyed by a few people. And those people at the top are also making good money out by giving this quota to these people. So you see, that was one of the ways that we could really set up these factories, give them this garment quota, which the US government gave, which was earlier not been properly utilized, and then take these garment factories to the rural areas. 500 girls were employed, not 1 or 2, no bluffing. You have to do the right thing. Then only you will prosper. 500 girls, and some of them who are maybe in need of employment, maybe their income levels are very low. You see, each village was getting, as a result of these factories, 3 to 4 million going into the village. You can see the development that will take place. Now, these are the ideas that you all should get, because I am telling you all, because you all are here for a graduation ceremony. You all have to do these sort of things, not the traditional sort of things. How you can make a change to the society of this country. If not for those garment factories today we will be all in starvation. There will be no money to import anything, because the biggest foreign exchange earner is the garment industry in Sri Lanka. So you can see how professional accountants have played a role. So this is the way, because you see, we are taught various things. You see, I remember the first corporation that I went, there were very senior people. They came and told me, "Sir, everything is going well." I listened, I told him, "Okay, that's okay, you give me the figures." Then they thought things are not, because earlier they used to fool the politicians who used to come there. Because you see, state corporations have been ruined. They were formed by a corporation act in order to make them efficient, to make them independent, and to run properly. But unfortunately, the politicians have taken it over. They appoint their own people. Then they must take the responsibility. But that is also not taken. So then I told these people, the next meeting, give me the figures. Then they came with the figures. And then that was the start of the revolution that took place. Because these are people who can work. These are or graduates. I was a professional. They knew that I was a professional. Professional accountant, not any other professional, who could look at the figures and tell them, this is what has to be done. So that's why you are really in a position where you can really play a major role. You can play a major role in your organization. Because I'm not really going to talk on the management accounting profession, because we have an expert. Today our chief guest, who is also the keynote speaker, is a management accountant. That's why I invited him to tell you his story as to how he has managed corporations and come to the top. Managed private sector organizations. I think one of the largest organizations. I must also tell Mr. Supun that actually in 91 we had a change in the act. We were in Greater Colombo Economic Commission. We made it the Board of Investment. Then it was converted to the Board of Investment to take the foreign investment throughout the country. Earlier it was only for a certain area. Then we made certain changes. Initially, it was only for export-oriented industries. I think that is what it should happen now, because today we need export-oriented. Then we brought in the other areas of infrastructure. And I can tell that one of the projects that I approved, of course, in the telecommunication field, first one was the Singapore Telecom, where the Singapore Telecommunication Authority, the company came and invested in Sri Lanka. And I asked them what you are doing. They say mobile phone. So I asked him, can you show me the sample of, then this was the size of the mobile phone, Today you are having one in your hand. He showed me a very large mobile phone, So you can see the revolution. You see, at that time, the decision that we took. Then later, of course, the other one that was also approved during my time, and of course, there were various changes that have taken place. But I must say one thing on the mobile industry. You see, when the mobile phone, telephone industry, earlier, because of the liberalization, because people say that we should not liberalize, but they do not know the benefits of liberalization. Now, one distinct advantage or distinct advantage that the citizens of this country was the liberalization of the telecommunication industry. Earlier, to get a phone, you have to get a seat from the MP to get a phone. But once the mobile industry came, today I must thank them, because they have taken to every corner. Even the farmers have it, the fishermen have it, everyone have it. And also now they are using it for developing their industry. Their various information can be sent by using the mobile phone. So I think that's a great revolution that has happened in our country. That is one, I think, the most important revolution that has taken place. Similarly, we need to do so many others that will benefit because we have to look at the society. Because when I say management accountant, you all are really management accountants who will serve your company, but through that, society is served. You see, the government cannot do things alone, so they need to get the professionals. So we have to help them, because in this crisis situation, definitely they will not be able to think of what has to be done or how things could be done. So as professionals, we have to really give them the support. So professionals are very important, but we need to now prepare professionals for what the future requires. I think, I'm sure Mr. Supun Veerasinghe will mention that also, because on the digital area, so I do not want to speak on that, because I think he's an expert on that. On the digital side, because as CMA Sri Lanka, I can tell you, with the COVID-19 pandemic, everyone said, you are finished. You are going down. All the foreign companies will come and take you over, and this is the end of you. But we were able to make changes. We went to digitalization. Our education, our examinations, our registrations, our payments, everything was digitalized. Communication, if you don't have an email address, then you cannot survive in this society. So that's how we really survive. We cut down our expenses. Our profits are more than the previous years. You look at our annual reports, you can see it. I am not just talking of anything else, but how we cut down. But today, I can tell you, what we do in the private sector is not practiced in the public sector. If they cut down their expenses, if they increase their income, then definitely things are okay. Now, the other important thing as a professional is the skills and competencies that you have. You can't become a professional without skills and competencies, your capabilities, and of course, the most important thing, ethical behavior, integrity, trust. These are the important things. You see, in those days, when there's an accountant, he is always given in charge of the money, because they trusted the man that he will not take that money and run away. But today we do not have that money, but we have converted it to much more higher forms of digital means, and of course the books and others. So integrity, honesty are the most important things. Today this country has gone to the dogs because we have no integrity, no honesty. You know that. I don't have to tell you that, but you should follow the correct way. As professionals, you should follow the proper way. Do not give in to what other people are doing. Maybe people are looking at money or whatever it is, but when you are a professional, you have to look at the professional standards that you have to do. Because as a professional, if you do something wrong, we have what is called a disciplinary committee. Disciplinary action can be taken against you. Unfortunately, these are non-existent. People are not taking any action. People who do all the wrong things are going to the top. We cannot allow that to happen, because our country is in a very sad situation. Today we've gone to the International Monetary Fund, and they too will want to see that our finances and our country is managed in a proper way. So if that's the case, you are the people who will really be required. I just want to read something which I just took from one of our current president, She says, the future of our profession depends on the next generation. It is imperative that our profession works together with all our stakeholders to create pathways for the next generation to enter the profession and thrive. So this was a quotation from Ms. Asma Resmuki, the IFAC president, a lady president who just took over. So I thought that I should maybe read this to you, because she has made a very, very valuable statement. Now, do not be worried about this economic crisis, because as professionals, we can really meet the situation, because you have something which no one else can take from you. I must also tell you that today we are recognizing the fellow members, the associate members, and also we have set up a new middle level accountant. It is called the Certified Accounting Business Manager. And I think a lot of you are at that level. And I must congratulate you because you will be the first batch that will be receiving these certificates. But this is only a starting point for you to become a professional. We are recognizing you at that level because you can also get a good job. You can maybe thereafter study, not only locally but also overseas. If you're overseas, as I said, we are doing online learning, we are doing online examinations, so you can even go overseas and do the exam. So there are a lot of plus points that will really help you in all these areas. But I think we need to see as to how we can help the country to overcome these difficulties. This is something that you must always think, and also the professional values, the value creation, and what you can do both for your organization, for yourself, because I know that a lot of you are thinking of yourself, of your future, what you should do, and those days, of course, maybe things should not have been bad, anyone would have gone and come back, but today, at a very, very crucial time, we will definitely produce more and more professional management accountants. Of course, it's up to you to decide whether you should stay here, but I would suggest that you should make your contribution because then only that we can develop. So with those comments, I would like to once again congratulate all of you because you all have taken the right path. I didn't have to speak to you to say that to become management accountants or to sit the Sri Lankan management accounting exam. But you have realized for yourself that this should take you to the right path. But now I have told you that this is the correct path you have taken because we have the recognition from the International Federation of Accountants. 180 member bodies in 135 countries. So you are a part of the global accounting profession of 3 million accountants. So I am sure a great path is ahead of you and we wish you all the very best. And I am sure that all of you will, while looking at your own self, will also think as to how you could help and assist our country to be taken forward. Thank you and all the very best.
Thank you too, Professor Lakshman R. Vattamala, for sharing some of the insights that had to do with your own decision-making process and the motivations that went along with it and how it now is translated into action on behalf of other people. That's good.
Yes. As mentioned, our chief guest today will have experience to share in that realm as well, and he is a fellow member of the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants UK with a Bachelor of Science degree in Accountancy and Financial Management from the University of Sri Jayawardenepura. Mr. Supun Veerasinghe is also an MBA from the University of Western Sydney, Australia, and is an alumnus of the Harvard Business School.
And was appointed as the Group Chief Executive and as a member of the Board of Dialogue Asiata in the year 2017. And interestingly, he commenced his career in telecommunications at Dialogue in 1999. That goes back a while. And held multiple positions such as Head of Strategy and CEO of the mobile business before being appointed as Group Chief Operating Officer of Dialogue Asiata 2010.
In 2013, he was seconded to Asiata Group Berhad in Malaysia as its Group Chief Strategy Officer. And at Asiata, he also served as the head of the Network Transformation Strategic Business Unit. For a couple of years, he functioned as the CEO and the Managing Director of Robi Asiata Limited in Bangladesh. He serves on the boards of subsidiary and associate companies of Dialogue Asiata, as well as the UNGC network, Sri Lanka. And he is, of course, the Group CEO of Dialogue Asiata PLC. So now he strikes the keynote.
Ayubowan, dear Professor Lakshman Matawala, dear Mr. Bandar, Vice President, Governing Council members, dear fellow colleagues who are going to graduate today, getting your membership, and also dear parents, distinguished invitees. It's indeed a great honor and a privilege to stand before you to share some of my experience over the last now nearly 25 years of management accounting and how you can make an impact through the education and the professional qualification that you are going to receive today. I was telling Professor, in fact, he was talking about the 200 garment factory example. It's all about championing change. As management accountants, you are going to see the world through the windscreen, not the rear view mirror. You are management accountants, you are going to see through the windscreen. Don't look at the rear view mirror and see what I need to do or what went wrong yesterday. You are doing it, but you have to look at as you progress and take decisions then and there. And today we are in a very volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous environment. It is very difficult to predict what is going to happen tomorrow, and the volatility is too much, again, difficult to plan. But you have the skills and competencies, the training to thrive in this environment. So this crisis is an opportunity for you. This crisis is an opportunity. Because if everything was stable and all that, then you don't have much of a challenge. But this environment creates you opportunity, and as management accountants, you have the right training and the skills to navigate your organizations through this crisis. So back to that challenge on the garment factory, 200 garment factories. In fact, I was talking to Mr. Mahesh Amalin on Monday. Mr. Mahesh Amalin is one of our independent board directors at Dialogue. And then he was discussing with me how do we navigate through this challenge in 2023. And he was relating to the 200 garment factory example. He said way back in 1989 and then since up to 93, the 200 garment factory challenge was given to the industry. No one thought it was possible. But how it created a strong ecosystem around the village so that the village was getting the wealth. There was employment getting created not only at the factory but also in the surrounding areas. And the family unit, the unit of the family was remaining intact, because otherwise the mother or the child comes to Colombo. One is there's no enough accommodation, cost of living is high, and also it breaks down the entire family unit, which we keep very close, dear to our culture. So on one hand, it enabled employment, but also supported the community and grew our exports. One example of championing change. So as management accountants, you have to champion change. When around 99, 2000, when I was at Dialogue as my final year at Jawaharlal University, everyone was going after this postpaid. You pay a fixed rental and you get a commitment. You pay 500 rupees or 1000 rupees, and for that you get certain talk time. But very few in our society or in our country can afford to pay a fixed commitment. If you look at electricity bills, maybe 500,000 proper electricity bill paying households. Majority of our consumers can't give that commitment. So how do we change our product proposition? How do we change our pricing? Instead of looking per user, how can we look at per minute of service that we provide? And do we care whether one consumer consumes 100 minutes or in today 100 GBs of data, or 100 consumers consume 1 GB each? We shouldn't care. And if we can change our cost structure to serve that 100 people who are just consuming 1 GB, then we can make ourselves more relevant and grow our product proposition. And that's what we did with mobile prepaid. Later around 2012, when we came with DTH, a dialog TV, again it was dialog TV was for a home who pays a bill. And only again the same challenge, 500,000 homes who can afford to pay a bill. Beyond that, there are 5 million homes, but 4.5 million can't afford to pay a monthly bill. So how do we again tailor the product, make it relevant and affordable? So then we came up with the per day TV. If you have 10 rupees, you can recharge today, watch the cricket match that is happening now. Then tomorrow, you don't have money, you don't watch TV. So how do we tailor our product to that consumer who has just 10 rupees and make the product relevant? That's management accounting. That's pricing, variable costing. It's not technology. It's not technology, it's pricing. It's how you variabilize your cost structure. You can have fixed cost and you can convert to variable cost. I remember talking to our suppliers and saying, don't charge license per customer, charge license per minute. So then we can variabilize our cost structure. Because you have to look at your customer and the market that you are serving. Rather than trying to push what you have, you need to adapt it to the market. Then the second aspect is about creating the future. You are now seeing through the windscreen and you have to create the future. Because if you don't progress, if you don't create that future for yourselves, your organization and for our country, then we will continue to lag behind. So to create the future, you need to continuously learn, grow, adapt, and in that sense, the digital platforms is just one part of it. I'm not sure whether you have come across this latest trend in artificial intelligence. The main platform is called ChatGPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformative AI. You can communicate with that. It's just openai.chatgpt.com. You can type your task, say write a job description to hire a management accountant. In 2 minutes or within 1 minute, it will write the job description. If you write the company name, it will also take details and then write that job description. Or write a termination letter, or write a press release, or write a song for CMA in Sinhala, it will write that song also. Or if you want to do a TV commercial, it will do that. Now it is moving to PowerPoint. bcg.com. If you say you want to write a PowerPoint on financial inclusion, in a couple of minutes, it does the entire PowerPoint. So increasingly, it makes all of us irrelevant. Because that platform is trained on 300 billion words. Already Microsoft is investing $10 billion on that. The valuation is supposed to be 29 billion. Last night I was going to use it. The platform has crashed. They're saying they are overwhelming demand and they cannot serve that demand. So these platforms, just like what Google did 20 years ago, the AI platforms are changing the relevance of professionals. Very soon, it will look at the journal and create the P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, and also help to do the projections. So we need to stay beyond that. You as professionals, you need to see, looking at the financials, you need to see how do you come in, how do you interpret, taking the larger picture into consideration and make meaningful decisions or help make meaningful decisions. Because the routine work is going to be done by AI, and AI is real, very, very real. If you think that it is going to happen and it's not going to happen today, it's going to happen 10 years from now, no. You are in denial. It's very real. and it will write in Sinhala, it will write in Tamil, it will write in English. AI for law is coming, AI for business, any area, computer programming, and simple normal talking language only you have to give instructions. So you have to see how do you make use of these platforms and apply that knowledge. Because very often what I have seen is that you have a lot of knowledge, but our professionals are scared to come up with application or make those decisions. It is fine to make decisions, and if you don't make decisions, you will not know what is going to be right or what is going to go right and what is going to go wrong. So you have to make those decisions, and through that you will learn. And it's a continuous learning process. And you have to stay ahead of the curve. You have to stay ahead of the curve if you are to be relevant and if you are to create that future. So I urge you all to look at how to embrace technology, how to use technology to drive digitalization of your organizations and the country. You saw what we could do simply with the fuel pass. There was a massive fuel crisis, but again it translated to a simple economic problem. We were running the country like a day wage earner. When we have some money, we bring fuel, we spend it in no time, again then look at the sky and wait to find money. But it was a limited resource and limited supply problem. So what we did was created the quota platform, and then everyone has now with predictability your allocation. You can plan your work. Similarly, we have seen in India for benefit transfers, stuff like Samurdhi, India had been spending $92 billion for a year. $92 billion, lot of money. And implementing digital platforms, they have saved $22 billion. Now IMF, we are talking about 2.9 billion, right? Just implementing or digitalizing the benefit transfer. There's a lot of leakage. There are maybe ghost people who are getting those subsidies as well as the right person not getting. But if you digitalize that, India has saved 22 billion. So you can imagine the potential for us. Same for taxation, financial services. But it is important to embrace these digital platforms, because through that we can enhance productivity. Through that we can do more with less resources, and we can move faster. Because the strength that we have is all of you, the knowledge workers, well-educated people, and it's about embracing technology. If India can adapt and make such a big impact, it's very sad that we are in this state today. So you have to lead that. You have to lead that change. And when you make that small first step, you will see there will be a lot of support coming your way. And the last part is about responsible leadership. I think Professor touched on integrity, ethics. I think as professionals, as management accountants, ethics plays a very, very big role. The other part of responsible leadership is making sure you support the larger community to also succeed. You support your fellow colleagues to succeed. You help them progress, because you will progress to be leaders. And there were some who had supported you to achieve success. Your parents, your loved ones, family has helped you to get to this success. But it is important to continue to nurture and support as responsible leaders, and not to look down and ignore and being selfish. As a professional, as a management accountant, it is very, very important to guide and nurture young future talent. And through that we can create a larger ecosystem. So one aspect is about championing change. You have to champion change, and you have to thrive in this uncertain environment. Uncertainty, you have to see it as an opportunity. How can you make the most of it? Not to run away from it. Not just because somebody or your known person is going out of the country, you don't need to run away. Because Sri Lanka offers so many opportunities. When everyone goes away, we have so many opportunities here. That's what I saw when I stayed back in year 2000. All my batchmates were leaving the country because of the war. When I graduated in year 2000, very few decided to stay back in the country. And that gave a lot of opportunities to those who stayed in the country. Provided you work hard, you maintain that focus and discipline, you can achieve success in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka needs good professionals like you. I think Professor Vatavala and the council with the faculty has done a lot of good work in creating this institute, this platform for training management accountants. A big gap in our larger economy. A larger economy doesn't have enough management accountants to help make the right decisions. So it is important to champion change, thrive in this uncertain environment, create the future. Again, adopting digital platforms, because if you don't adapt, if you are not in control, the digital platforms will start controlling you. It is always important to be in control. You need to know what's going on and be comfortable with these technologies before you become redundant. Then lastly, responsible leadership. Again, an important dimension, one part integrity, the other part is helping nurturing young talent as a good leader. Thank you very much, Professor, for having me. Wish you all the very best for success in your careers, and thank you for your support to certified management accountants. Thank you.
Our chief guest, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe, there was a world of insight that he was able to provide in his presentation. But he's not quite finished. We have to invite him again, this time in the role of presenter on stage, as we now move to the distribution of certificates.
And to accompany him, we'd like to invite the President, Professor Lakshman R. Vatavala, the Vice President of CMA, Mr. H.M. Hennayaka Bandara, the company of Council Member, Mr. Manil Jayasinghe, and also former Council Member, Professor Harendra Karyavasam, please.
So we shall begin with the fellow members of CMA.
The first of our fellow members today is Premasuthan Menaha. We have Asanka Narangoda, fellow member.
Thereafter, Madhushka Chaturani, fellow member. Followed by Denzil Kumarasiri.
Followed by Praveen Ruberu, fellow member. And Chandana Gunyangoda.
Nashita Muhammad, fellow member. Surangi Darshani Jaya Sirivardhana.
She's followed by Dion Savaremuttu, fellow member. And Sumit Karunatilaka, FCMA.
Then next is Navaratnam Jayamahendran. Followed by Tusita Priyanta Pereira.
Next is Rachita Vijayasundara. And Aravinda Kumara.
B.A. Chandana Kumar Balasurya. Jude Devapriya Pieris. Kamalika Pereira Gunawardana.
And Jayan Irendra Fernando.
So there we have the FCMA now presented and them being recognized, followed by associate members. That's ACMA. So we'll start off with Nilanka Dilshani. Lakshita Ranganath follows.
Followed by Mohammad Rikaz Pfizer. And Apsara Karunanayaka. Madhusha Akalanka Veerasekara.
The next associate member is Rangika Damit Kulasurya. And then Chanel Janitra Buljans.
Aziz Niaz Nadeem. Shashi Prabhat Harendra Dhanansurya.
Sajani Kumarasuryar. Then next is Fatima Miswa Marikka.
Kasun Aranja Fernando. Dinusha Disanayaka.
Associate Member Rodney Anthony Fernando. Piumi Prasadika Totamunage.
Followed by Bishan Isanka. And Pramudita De Silva. Associate Member Chamuka Pramod.
And then D.H. Sanduni Pratibha follows.
Next is Tilina Sampat Bandara. Sandun Taraka Pires is next. Followed by Associate Member H.W. Kaushani Pamudika.
And then Jaturanga Jayamal Rajapaksha. And Jayani Saumya Fernando.
Our next associate member is Mohan Pirabu Bhavan. Followed by Samudrika Patirana, associate member.
And we also include R.G.M. Rajapaksha.
We now move to those who are granted the designation of Associate Management Accountant. We have, in fact, one Tanchuta Tiagarasa.
Now we have a slight change in our presenters. We have our chief guest remaining, as would the president, Ms. Professor Lakshman R. Vattavala, vice president, also stays. But we would like to invite Mr. J.M.U.B. Jayasekara to please come on, as well as Mr. Gajendran and Mr. J.P.R. Karunaratna. Yep, that's right. And we say thank you very much to Professor Harendra and Manil. Thank you. We'll allow you to resume your seats as we proceed now with the others also coming up on the stage. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're set and ready now for our next,
which is the past finalists. So we celebrate those who have passed and successfully completed the examination, beginning with
M.M. Pfizer. And Fauzdin Muhammad Ishaq. W.M. Prashani Gunasiri.
Kaumadi Sachintani Silva is next. Followed by Milaksha Soundra Singh.
Kushan Savinda Prera. Nimesha Sudari Lienege. Abdul Qadir Abdul Alim.
Nuwantika Lakmali Silva. M.L. Malsha Maduni.
Ubaidullah Safia. Viranga Gayan Bandara. And the next is Purnima Dilhani.
Next is Shanira Keshan Fernando. Lashen Dulanjaya. Shohan Chandrasena. Hasita Sanjay Lanka. Udeni Muddanayaka.
Madhushan Vijay Singh. Muhammad Imtiaz. Yes. Like a list. Imtiaz was it? Tinuri Charitma.
Tanya Dilakshi Hettiarachi. D.M. Mahesh Eroshan. Fatima Amna. L.A.
Oh, sorry.
L.A. Radhini Rukshika.
And then it's Jitmi Tarushika. M.T.M. Asik.
Followed by Samimir Sahira. Chaturani Rajapaksa. Samira Sampath Mohotti.
Gayan Kumara Vijayasinghe. Chetana Nirmani Karunaratna. Maheshi Sammani. And also amongst the past finalists is Sasika Niroshan Ranasinghe. We next have certificates recognizing the qualification Certified Accounting and Business Manager. The letters CABM.
First is R.G. Dinuka Udari. Lakmali Sandanayaka is next. Mohammad Shafi Mohammed. Madhushani Nadika Kalansurya. M.A. Muhammad Arkham.
And followed by Gayani Samara Vikrama. Ishan Arunoda Senanayaka. Shakti Prabuddha Deshapriya. A.S. Ahmed Shadir.
A. Hansi Madhushika. Nilabdin Mohammed. Next is Thuraisingam Jayabalasingham. Savindi Senaratna.
Christina Lafaba. Dinesh Anand Sarma. Samalka Hansani.
Mercy Perimperasa. Abdul Razak Suhaina. Sulochana Vikramasekara. Nisal Fernando. H.A. Nadisha Niroshani.
Harshana Muthukumar. Pasindu Suraj Kumara.
Ushani Madhushika Vijayvanta. Shanika Namalgedara. M.I.M. Ihzan Ashri. Congratulations to the certified accounting and business managers. We now move to the awarding of the certificates for certified hospitality, finance and management accountants. And so we'd like to invite as presenter the CHFMA Coast Director, Mr. Sunil Pieris, to join the other presenters on stage, please.
So, with the CHFMA, there is an associate member, and the name, Susita Prasad Roel.
Having completed the professional stage 2 of CHFMA, this is the certificate for Gunaratnam Sridharan. Being certified now for Diploma Level 1, Kanagasabe Nirojan.
And then the foundation certificate in accounting at the foundation level, this is to Afdan Ahmed. Okay, now we've come to another range of presentations, and we would like to say thank you to, oh, it doesn't change, everyone says. As we move to prize winners, these are prize winners in the year 2022. So first in order of merit at the operational level, exam of 2021 November. First in order of merit, the prize for managing business operations is also included and handed to Nidesha Bandaryapa. Prize winner.
Next, receiving the prize for second in order of merit at the operational level of November 2021, as well as that for management accounting at the operational level, Chamedi Atulugama.
And our next prize winner, third in order of merit, November 2021 exam at the operational level, Shehara Shauket.
At that same exam, at the operational level, receiving the award for Business English 2 and Information Technology Applications, Sinnature Arul Prabhu.
Now at the managerial level, these are exams conducted November 2021. First in order of merit, as well as the prize for managing projects, information systems and data analytics, corporate law and advanced taxation. The prize is to Frizli Ahmed Mahdi.
Congratulations. Now receiving the Merit Prize at the strategic level. Vitanage Gayatri Kaushalya.
Now the prize at the Apex level November 2021 exam for computer-based accounting. The prize is awarded to Sandharuwan Sri Lanka.
Also at the Apex level of the November 2021 exam for the Integrative Case Study, receiving a Certificate of Merit, Dinusha Disanayaka.
Now the next prize is sponsored by Mr. Hen Nayaka Bandara, Vice President of CMA Sri Lanka. It's first in order of merit at the strategic level May 2022 exam. So he's already on stage, of course, and the prize is awarded to Chandima Prabhat.
The second in order of merit at the strategic level of May 2022 exam was Sasanthi Fernando.
Now at the Apex level, May 2022, the prize for Integrated Case Study, Certificate of Merit, and it's jointly awarded. So we'll be reading out two names jointly received, I guess, Apex level. So, prizes to Sasanga Pawan Pramudita De Silva and Mohammed Asik.
Now to the foundation level of the September 2022 examination. First in order of merit, and with the Management Accounting Fundamentals Prize, as well as Quantitative Methods for Business, Kavisha Pereira.
The next prize, September 2022 examination, foundation level, second in order of merit, as well as the prize for financial accounting and finance fundamentals, Thikshana Satsarani.
At the September 2022 exam, foundation level, third in order of merit, Bhagya Kure.
And what we have next is from the June 2022 examinations at the foundation level, first in order of merit, as well as the prize for management, accounting and fundamentals, awarded to Deepta Fernando.
And now, second in order of merit at the foundation level June 2020 examinations, as well as receiving the prize for fundamentals of management and economics and quantitative methods for business, Tahani Serniviratna.
And third, in order of merit, plus Business English Prize at the foundation level, June 2022. Rishma Rizvi.
Now to managerial level at the June 2022 examination. First in order of merit, Nilabdeen Mohammed.
March 2022 is where we are at. March exam, foundation level. First in order of merit, as well as Business English 1 prize to Rashid Mukharam.
At that same examination, foundation level, March 2022, second in order of merit, as well as receiving the prize for Management Accounting Fundamentals, Fatima Misbah.
March 2022 exam, foundation level. Third in order of merit is Joseph Katkia. Katsia, maybe.
Receiving the prize for Financial Accounting and Finance Fundamentals at the foundation level of March 2022 exams, Shashini Kavindyani.
Now we have December 2021 at the foundation level. First in order of merit, plus Management Accounting Fundamentals Prize, Financial Accounting and Finance Fundamentals, and Quantitative Methods for Business. It's all awarded to Maheshini Chamatka Tenakun.
Now receiving the prize for Financial Accounting and Finance Fundamentals at foundation level, December 2021, Rasalingam Mahisha.
May 2022 examination, Apex level. The prize for computer-based accounting awarded to Nuwanti Madhushani.
Congratulations to all the prize winners. We now have the prize for the most outstanding performance. The founder president, Professor Lakshman R. Vatawala, gold medal for the most outstanding performance at the final examinations. This is awarded to Mohammad Tahir Mohammad Asik.
Well done. Now, at this point of time, we have our chief guest, who will now be inducted with a fellow membership of CMA.
Can we also invite on stage to be part of this occasion Mr. Manil Jayasinghe and Professor Harendra Karyavasam, please.
There we are. Chief guest, now a fellow. He will also be the recipient of what is referred to as a coffee table book. In the interest of the nation. This was launched just recently, and so a copy of that book relevant to this organization is now handed over.
We also have another token of our appreciation to him for serving as our chief guest. And so we say thank you very much once again to our chief guest and to all our presenters, and we allow them to resume their seats as we will next hear from the Merit Award winner, the gold medalist, Mr. M.T.M. Asik.
Good evening, everyone. I am honored that I've got this opportunity to share my experience with CMA. Honorable Chief Guest and Keynote Speaker, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe, Professor Lakshman R. Watavala, Founding President of CMA Sri Lanka, members of the Governing Council, distinguished invitees, parents, and my dear brothers and sisters. It's an honor to deliver this speech on this big stage as the President's Prize winner of 2022. I would like to share my CMA experience that I had in these last 3 years. I got to know about CMA through my friends during a meetup that was held after A-levels. I always had an interest in doing management accounting compared with other fields. So, with the intention of obtaining an academic qualification from Open University of Sri Lanka, and also to pursue my ambition in becoming a qualified management accountant, I decided to join CMA Sri Lanka. I think that is my best decision that I've ever taken yet. Starting off with CMA Sri Lanka, I started from the foundation level, and I'm very happy to say that I already received the first prize in the foundation level, the operational level, and the managerial level, and finally in this case study. Thank you CMA Sri Lanka for giving me this golden opportunity, because despite the COVID situation and the economic crisis in this Sri Lanka, you have kept the examination and you have provided us the experience and the education on time. And I will finally extend a special thank to my parents, friends, and teachers who have helped and guided me to achieve this success. I also take this opportunity to thank CMA for conducting programs like CBA and the Speechcraft program. In fact, the Speechcraft program made me to speak fearlessly like today. And it is an unforgettable experience that I had in the Speechcraft program. And with the CBA program, I was able to develop my technical skills and my IT skills. And I also would like to thank CMA for giving me this opportunity, because I was about to give up CMA in the beginning of 2020 due to COVID situation. But with the support that I have received from CMA and the institutes, forced me to stay and study the CMA, and I'm very proud to say that I've received this prize. And I also want to thank CMA for giving me this opportunity today. And I would like to thank everyone for in this special occasion. Professor Whatever, I would like to give a special thank you for you for creating a first step in making the global level platform for students like us in accomplishing our dreams to achieve and become qualified certified management accountants. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best in your futures.
So we've heard it from the prize winner, which leaves us with a final word or two to be spoken in appreciation, and that will be by the Director Examinations of CMA Sri Lanka, Madhumi Pereira.
Chief guest, keynote speaker, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe, Group Chief Executive of the Dialogue Asiata PLC, Founder President of CMA Sri Lanka, Professor Lakshman R. Wattawala, Vice President, Mr. Hennaka Bandara, members of the Council, distinguished invitees, new members, certificate recipients, award winners, and the guests of these students, the certificate recipients, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm honored to express my sincere gratitude to everyone who have been here today with us to witness this 19th graduation ceremony of CMA Sri Lanka, which is one of the key events of the institution. So first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our chief guest and the keynote speaker, Mr. Supun Veerasinghe, for being with us today despite of his busy schedules, and also delivering a wonderful keynote speech, like well-received one, about the artificial intelligences and the leadership role and the governance, those areas, like key areas. And also, I extend my gratitude to the founder president, Professor Lakshman R. Wattawala, for pioneering the CMA and developing it for what it is today, and for all the guidance given to us. Also, special gratitude for Vice President and also our council members for always being with us, making each and every day, every event of the CMA to a great success. And I must thank all these service providers, including BMICH staff, and our Mr. Arun and Mr. Nisha for comparing, AVA Productions, photographers, all who have taken these stakeholders of the event for support given to us. And also, especially for my dear staff, who have been working all the days for make this event for a success, and continuous support extended to make it a great success. Finally, I would like to give my warm wishes for the new members, certificate recipients, and the title recipients, award winners. Good luck all of you for your future endeavors. With that, once again, thanking all these invitees being here for witness this event. I formally wind up this formal vote of thanks. Thank you very much. Have a very pleasant evening.
So that, in fact, concludes the formality of our event. I do believe that refreshments are being served outside. We'll allow those in the front row to take leave of us first and everyone else thereafter. But there is also a request from our gentleman photographer. Photographs must be taken of those who are now adorned with cloaks. Your tea will be delayed. So you need to remain here, and you will be called up in small groups or batches for what will finally be a group photograph, but that will be done in stages. And those of you who have seen photographs being taken before will find no amusement in that program. So enjoy the refreshments and let those with photographs stay. Thank you.